All right, we're back. HSC Podcast weekly movie review. We've been doing actor movie reviews every week. Got a new one this week for you, Robert Downey Jr. So originally I wasn't going to do a weekly actor review, but I was looking at a bunch of Robert Downey Jr. movies and I was like, man, this guy's in a lot of good movies. And so I don't know that we picked the best ones, but if you watch these ones, they're good. But he's been in a lot of good movies, so he is a guy that I think that people should check out, and especially some of his old movies. Be surprised how long he's been doing movies, and when he wasn't a huge star, he was just doing some basic movies back then in the '80s.
I know I should have picked Back to School.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sure.
But I think we picked three really good movies, so we'll go through them. We've got Tropic Thunder, Avengers Endgame, and Sherlock Holmes, which I think are all huge, pretty huge movies for him, right?
Yeah.
We got to start with Tropic Thunder though. So Derek, Tropic Thunder was your movie. Like, just why'd you pick it? Give us a synopsis.
I love this movie so much. It is so hilarious. And the fact that like people get mad at it is like they don't even pay attention to what the movie is even what is even referencing. And that's why it's so good. Robert Downey Jr. plays a method actor who goes to the nth degree and goes blackface to play I can't even know what his name to play a character in a Vietnam movie as a black sergeant. And the whole movie, like they have the what is it? Al Al Pacino?
Al
What's his
Pacino, the rapper,
Yeah, Al Pacino, yeah. Like calling him out the whole time.
right? He's like, "What do you mean, you people?"
What do you mean, you people? Yes, it's just and it's so absurd. Like the very beginning where they're doing the like hit the fake movies, and it's like him with Toby Maguire, and
Oh, the movie, like oh yeah, the
where
previews.
they're the
Oh my
forbidden
gosh.
priests and stuff, and
That's
I
one of
love
the
it. They're
best
like,
parts.
huh?
The one of the best parts is the beginning when they're doing those fake previews.
Yeah, and they're like three-time Academy Award winner Kurt Lazarus and winner of Best Kiss, Toby Maguire, MTV's Best Kiss.
MTV's Best Kiss.
Oh, it's just like the whole cast is so great. And like even down to like Tom Cruise as the producer. Ben Stiller directed it, wrote it with Justin Theroux. And yeah, like Jay Baruchel, Jack Black, Brandon T. Jackson, they all do a great Danny McBride. And this is all really he filmed this before like Iron Man was released. So he wasn't back yet. And
Right.
then to do this part where he's an Australian actor, taking transforming himself to play a black actor is it's crazy and wild. And I think it's Tropic Thunder is probably one of the top comedies in the last 20 years.
Yeah, you really have to get it, right? And not be offended by a lot of the movie because it's not just Robert Downey Jr. and the fact that he's playing blackface. It's everything throughout the movie is there's a lot of things that could people could be offended by watching this movie. But if you understand the comedy behind it and you understand what they're really going for, it's so funny to watch. But the actual story to me is great, right? When they make the movie, the original, right? They're making the movie and then it doesn't go right. And then they go and put him out in the the Vietnam jungle. And Ben Stiller thinks that they're still in the movie. That's
But
just
then that
hilarious.
actually is what the movie is.
Right. That's hilarious to me. I think that was a it's a great twist. I love how they did that. I actually really enjoyed Tom Cruise playing, just a wild, crazy role. But I'll tell you, Jack Black was phenomenal in this movie. I think he encapsulated that role really well. You know, playing the actor, and then when he's a heroin addict, obviously, and then doesn't get his heroin, and like how he plays that part is just hilarious. So he really kills that part as well. But I think what's most lost for me in the movie is Matthew McConaughey. He kills the agent. Like he is the epitome of an agent. I think he
That
probably has
TiVo?
worked with a lot of agents and he just nailed it. So that was great to me. The whole time he's like obsessed with the TiVo.
It's in the contract, man. Just
It's
get
in the
your TiVo.
contract. Oh, that's great. What did you think of it, Wes?
been a while since I've seen it. But yeah, it's a lot of things I forgot. It is the epitome of what Hollywood is, has, and always will be. But and the movie itself is just completely. It makes fun of you know pretty much everything you can't make fun of now. So, of course, Tom Cruise is hilarious, and those supporting roles were great. Yeah, it's one of those movies you will probably never see again made from Hollywood because yeah, just
Yeah, everything's changed, right?
yeah. So
It was a great pick. I hadn't seen it in a while, so to rewatch it again was phenomenal. And since we're talking Robert Downey Jr., this is one of the best roles that I think he's ever done. And that's tough to say given this type of movie.
yeah,
So good one, Tropic Thunder. Check it out. Robert Downey Jr. All right, Avengers Endgame. Wes, you picked this one. Why'd you choose this? Give us a little synopsis.
I I never did see it when it came out in the theater. Of course, I saw it Infinity War, which to me was I didn't really know much about it, and then I watched it, and then I was like, "Well, this is really hard to watch. This is pretty hardcore." When so you got to watch Infinity War to understand anything before you go into watching Endgame. And if I finally watched it, I seen the first half of it, but I couldn't watch it just because I had to be in the right mood. The beginning is, yeah, I mean, of course, ensemble cast. There's so many Avengers and different characters in the movie. But coming into like a post-apocalyptic opening where everyone's trying to figure out what happened when, you know, you lose pretty much half of the population of the universe. Um, the acting for Marvel movie, it's the writing's I think is great in the beginning, where Tony Stark is upset because he predicted something like this was going to happen, and he had an idea how to protect the planet, and he blames Captain America for telling him, well, you know what? If we fail, we all fail together. And that kind of leads into the whole um, rest of the movie of how they're trying to um, get the Infinity Stones, and they find Thanos, and you see a lot of guilt from Thor throughout the movie, but you see how much the because he obviously couldn't, you know, prevent from what Thor did when it came to the Infinity Stones, and he felt like that he failed, and he took it out on Thor in the movie, and but then they find out that, destroying the Infinity Stones, they can't go back, and then the metaverse, and it's one of those movies. It's kind of depressing to watch throughout, and then they find the way to go back and rewrite everything and bring everybody back. The ending's hard to watch. I'm not going to give it away, but the action. I'm not a big fan of the action in the movie, but it's just there's a lot going on. Less is more. I don't like the action of these movies nowadays. It's almost like a video game. I miss the old days where you actually could see what's going on and it's well thought out. But overall, yes, I like Infinity War better, but
It's
yeah.
I agree. It's a good movie. The end though, you're right. The fight scene and everything that's happening at the end is a lot.
Yeah.
It's like a Back to the Future type of movie, right? As far as like the time traveling kind of stuff. So that's a cool part of it. But there's
It's
so
not like
much.
Back to the Future at all. They even talk about it in it. Back to the
Yeah.
Future is wrong.
Yeah, Future's wrong.
Well, they try to give you the show you how the timeline works, but Back to the Future tried to do that too. Uh, but it's you do have to if you haven't seen the previous movies, it's tough to watch. For me, the story and this one for me is like really big for Robert Downey Jr. because there is a lot of Iron Man him in this movie. I mean, he dies. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that if you haven't seen it.
Well, I
But
mean, come on. If you haven't seen it by now,
right. So, but also, it starts off with him. He figures out the way to go back and get the Infinity Stones, and then he's a big part of the whole ending scenes. I don't know. It is a lot. It's a lot to watch, but there's so many people in it, and there's so much storyline to it. It's a great movie. I really, really like Mark Ruffalo. I think he's a great actor, but he really does a great job in this movie in particular, especially when you see the difference of him in his roles as the Hulk. But then also like Scarlet Joe, come on, dude. Like nobody wants to see her die. It sucks.
Well,
But it's a great movie. I mean, I enjoyed it a
it, it
lot.
it begins with Tony Stark. It revolves around Tony Stark.
Right.
In a sense, you saw the humility even in the beginning. Like, you know what? You asked me to figure this out. I can't figure it out. And you realize that in his earlier movies, he was always kind of arrogant. He always had that attitude that, you know what, you know, I am I'm the smartest person in the room. And you saw he was it was actually eerie just seeing just the loss the look on everyone's faces when they went on with their lives. Like, how do I go on with my life when I know this happened and we could have tried to prevent it and we failed? It's
Yeah, in the beginning he looks like super thin and maybe is that thin, but they kind of like made
he was super thin. Yeah.
right, they kind of made him look thin
Awesome.
like he was dying in space.
Well, it was like 20 something days in space, and how we don't even
Right.
know how much food they had.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
like no food, no oxygen, like
They
no
ran out of
oxygen,
oxygen.
everything. I do love the part, and I know all the movies have this, but just having all of the different Avenger groups and everybody in the movie, it's really cool. So that's my take on it.
see, for me being a comic book nerd, I am like totally opposite from Wes. The ending battle scene was awesome because you got to, except for, and I'm gonna maybe offend some people, except for the blatant scene where he had to put all the women together to do women power.
Right, right.
Like, I had my son watch the end because he loves comics, and so I had him just watch the battle. And he's 8, and he's like, that makes no sense.
Yeah, why did they
Why'd they
just
do
line up a
that?
bunch of women to go and do that?
But besides, and then it's like you don't even have them, like you said, the most impressive woman in this whole series has been ScarJo, and she's not there to be in this scene.
Yeah,
Um, but for me, it's like it's a culmination. It's what? I don't know how many movies, but that's the thing is like with Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, he helped cause that. And I think that's where the guilt is. He made Ultron, which then got the Sokovia Accords, which then had the Civil War because Captain America's like, no, man, we can't be this. So then they're fighting. That's why they weren't together. And then that's why Infinity War happened. Um, that's what, and that's where the guilt comes in. And he's trying to blame others, but he knows deep down that he helped cause that. Now, you guys haven't mentioned it, but I saw it in the theater. And the biggest part of that movie is when Captain America gets Mjolnir. And I don't know if you guys know how big of a deal that is when he gets the hammer,
right,
because only the worthy can grab the hammer.
right.
And
And then
so,
Thor's like, I knew it.
yeah, that was like a huge scene. And then, yeah, but it was just a culmination. And then it's kind of like after, and I still watch the movies, but they're not the same without this cast. It's like, it's Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man. That's it. You don't,
Right.
and then Hulk. So, and then I don't know, Steve. Yeah, I like Mark Ruffalo too, but I don't like Genius Hulk. That's just stupid. They neutered Hulk completely.
It's an evolution though.
Yeah,
Like that's a cool part. I mean, for me, like I said, maybe I see that differently, but I actually enjoyed that evolution and like how they kind of called it out and they talked about it. I also really like Paul Rudd. I think Paul Rudd does a great job of Ant-Man. I actually loved Ant-Man movies. Which is really crazy is at the end scene when they're doing the fight when he's like gigantic and you're like, well, can't he just like step on everybody?
well, he did step on a few people, and then yeah. Well, the other joke was, and I forgot what they talked about, where he should have gone small and then gone inside of Thanos and then enlarged himself.
Right, right in his head. I mean, it's a cool movie. Like there, it's great. I mean, it's a you have to wrap it up, right?
Yeah, but like Wes said, yeah, it's like a 5 hour movie because you need to watch Infinity War with it.
Right. Well, it's really hard to follow if you just
And
watch it by
technically, you
itself.
got to watch like 20 other movies first.
Well, and it did $2.8 billion in the box office, but it's long. It's really long.
Yeah, but it's a long that doesn't feel long.
Yeah. Not like what's his normal movies. What, dude, this is like the what fifth 3 hour movie. Wes is like, you're gonna be up till 1 a.m. watching movies. Oh man, it was good. It's good though, and I saw it originally, and that was a lot. You know what came out 5 years ago or so, and so to rewatch it was really cool. All right, so that's Robert Downey Jr. in Avengers Endgame. Obviously, he's in all the Avengers or most of the Avengers. Great movie. Make sure you watch Infinity War, watch Avengers Endgame, and tell us what you think. So the movie I picked was Sherlock Holmes, and believe it or not, I picked this because I had never seen this.
What?
And I was looking at this and I was like, you know what? I never seen this movie. We gotta do Robert Downey Jr. movies because I want to watch this. And I gotta tell you, I love this movie. Robert Downey Jr. was a beast in this movie. The I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan, which is interesting that I've never seen this, but the way he played Holmes in this, and just like the fighting and but also the intelligence. I mean, he's kind of ripped in the movie, but then Watson's also a badass. Like it was such a cool movie. There's parts of it that are a little bit slow in the sense of it wasn't the best writing per se, but Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr. together as Sherlock and Holmes is just it was amazing. If you haven't seen this movie, it's great to watch. I didn't particularly like how they and maybe it was a quick ending or the ending wasn't the greatest, but it was already done at that point, so it was fine. But the whole movie is really keeps you engaged for me until maybe the last 30 minutes. They're just kind of like, let's wrap this up. But for the most part, I think it's a really cool movie. But I think for me, one of watching Robert Downey Jr. in this, I actually love him in this role. I thought he played it perfectly.
So you haven't seen the sequel then?
I haven't seen this is the first I'm gonna watch it, but yeah, I've just seen this one.
So I gotta, and it's hard for me with this one because I too love Sherlock Holmes, read the books, everything like that. And that's where I get where I don't need him to be this badass action guy. He's supposed to be smart and deductive, not like, ooh, I'm gonna punch him 3,000 times and beat up Kurgan from the WWE. I'm so tough. That's the only thing that kind of put me off. It's like, okay, half this movie is them just fighting, and that's not what Sherlock Holmes is about. It's about deducting. So, but I mean, I like it. It's enjoyable. It's just not my favorite adaptation of Sherlock. I like more of the Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman version, but it's enjoyable to watch.
You don't like the WWE Sherlock Holmes?
No.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, it's when I first saw the preview, I was like, I do not want to watch this movie because all previews, honestly, to me, do not do the movie justice. And so I saw part of it years ago, but watching it, yeah, I mean, of course, I have the new found even back then.
Oh, Lost West.
Oh, movie died or his phone died. Well, just kind of wrap that up though. The Mark Strong playing the Blackwood character, I thought was a great part of the movie because it kind of felt like, is this, is it more, I guess what would the word be?
Supernatural.
Yeah. Like supernatural, right? That's the word. Is he more supernatural, and then can you like what do you need to be to fight a supernatural bad guy? Maybe you can't just be deductive Sherlock Holmes. And so I thought that was kind of a cool part. And I think he did a really good part at playing the bad guy as well. And so that was kind of cool. It's fun to watch. And you're right, it's different than most adaptations, right? I mean, it's obviously not any book you're going to read or most of the older, movies or anything you've seen of that. So it was a little different, a little refreshing, and I just thought that this was a cool role for Robert Downey Jr. And the part about like not seeing him before also made it a little bit more exciting for me too.
Yeah. 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 I think I saw it. I've seen it a few times when it first came out, so it was the same old for me. I mean, I liked it. I think back then I liked it more, and then now, maybe because I'm an old curmudgeon, I was just like, I'd rather him just be, I don't need all this action.
Yeah, it is a lot of action. Like I could have probably, you're right. There's a few scenes, especially like the fighting in like the when he goes in the ring and he's fighting and they're like making money off of it.
Yeah.
Like those, I could probably do without those.
Oh, and then, though, a young Beth Dutton from Yellowstone.
Right. It
Yeah, I was
was
gonna
funny
bring
because we
that
were
up.
watching it, and first thing Holly said was, "Is that girl from Yellowstone?"
Beth. That I did not remember that at all. I was like, what is Beth doing here?
Well, that's how I knew, like, when I watched Yellowstone, I'm like, oh yeah, she's from Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, we're the opposite. It's a good movie though. It's worth the watch. Like I actually enjoyed it a lot.
One movie we didn't talk about, but I highly, highly recommend everyone needs to watch for Robert Downey Jr., and that's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah, yeah. Very. I mean, a lot of good Robert. I mean, that's a very good one. And we always do this, after we do because we only have time to do a few movies each week. But like, you could go back through a lot of his movies. Like you had mentioned, you know, even small parts and roles like Back to School,
Less Than Zero, Johnny Be Good,
Johnny Be Good.
um, Air
Yeah,
America. Remember Air America?
yeah. Wasn't that's Mel Gibson, right?
Yeah, him
Yeah,
and
that
Mel
was a good one.
Gibson. Soap Dish.
Well, and you also gotta like a guy personally for me that went through struggles and then came back and became one of like the biggest movie stars in the planet, right?
Yeah. Well, he credits his wife. He always talks about his wife. That
Hmm.
he was in such bad shape with everything that was going on, and so I've seen multiple interviews when he's talking about his wife.
Right. I mean, that's good, give him that credit because in the 80s, like you knew, like you just watch some of his movies and you're like, man, this guy's just off the rails. I mean, I can't say that I haven't always enjoyed his movies though. I wonder. like if you look back at some of the old ones,
Like Less Than Zero and
but that's what I mean. This is why when I was looking at that, I was like, man, he just really like put in work though. Like, look at all the movies he did in
Weird
the 80s.
Science.
Yeah. Weird Science. But this guy was just in it's so many movies. And like not making a lot of money back then either. If you look what he's back in the 80s, like just working for 5, 10 grand a movie. He was in 4 movies in 1988, 4 movies in 1985. So I mean, it's just cool. Like he was a worker, and it is good to see him come through all of that, everything he went through, and kind of come out at the end. All right, so check out Robert Downey Jr. That's our movie review wrap. If there is an actor you'd like us to do, leave in the comments, and we'll get those next time for you. So thanks for listening to movie reviews. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.